carries, right? So the reason why, because Lulu, Renata, these kind of Okay. Well, it doesn't get much more telegraphed than that. Now the real question is, what does WE want to do into this? They know it's going to be, you know, a Lulu plus Jinx or Zeri. Do they want to preemptively handshake and take this? Will we get something like a Thresh out of Vampire? It's one of the older school, you know, champions that we see, or used to see into these kind of utility picks like Lulu.
Are AL trolling us?
I don't think so. I don't think you ban Blitz and go Lulu first pick without that happening, you know?
All right.
The comedy...
I'll believe you.
The comedy thing could actually be, what if we end up getting solo lane Lulu? Because there is a...
Flandre's just cooking.
Not only is Flandre a prominent chef as the Jinx, one after the hyper carry match I was picked up, so Hope could very happily go Zeri. Huh. Mazel, I'm worried. I feel like AL might not be messing around this game. I think if Zeri gets locked in, no. I think if Zeri gets locked in, then it should be Lulu bot locked in.
Okay.
Though there is always still room for flexibility. But I did want to just quickly highlight that it's kind of rising in priorities. Some solo laners in Korean solo queue are playing solo lane Lulu, and they're doing a more supportive build. I've seen more aggressive kind of like hard mage items into support items.
Yeah.
But this will just be the support one. No.
Dude, you're just big brain, man.
I don't have the script, guys. I promise.
Are you sure? Can you give it to me?
Yeah, I'm serious. I don't. Bans now. Junglers probably, right? Of what? I'm actually not sure. So many are already... Some of the use ones are kind of gone, so I don't mind the Nar call out again. Renekton. Is it going to be Renekton? Who knows, actually. I wonder if W want to ban Sejuani themselves, as a matter of fact, now, because it's one of the few, you know, good junglers still available on the pool, or in the pool, rather. Otherwise, I guess they just kind of end up giving it to AL, and then Flandre will maybe go a carry champion on top of that. Lee Sin. Okay, fair enough. Maybe they'd be happy.
Some Tarzan picks, maybe even the Lee Sin mid.
Yeah, who knows?
Unfortunately, DoonB is not here. We'll see what the top lane focus is going to continue, if it is, rather, for AL in this final ban. It is the Hui, actually, that's banned away.
Decent, cool. I wonder if Karis is still going to lean on something a little bit more AD. I mean, I was going to say Corki, Corki's gone. Oh, dear. Oh, no. If we get...
dear? No.
Dear. Dear. Now, the problem with, to me, with Udyr is it signifies that they're probably going to want to do a lane swap.
True.
So, it could end up meaning we get a tank handshake. Thank you, Hope, for the hover. I love you, bro.
Dude, are you, like, communicating with these... Are you, like... do you have DMs open with AL right now, or what?
Yeah, maybe, bro. Sejuani Camille? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm there for that.
Text them right now, right? Go ahead. You just want to make sure.
You've already got Galio. Galio's going to function, you know, both ways. Protective, offensively. As much as... Oh, I mean... You know what? Kindred would actually be a pretty annoying champ for WE to deal with here.
I think, honestly, what I'm seeing from AL is they just want to get massive setup for the side of Flandre and Hope in a lot of these cases. I mean, a lot of facilitation coming through for the team.
Silas
would be massive.
Silas, way better. Don't do Orianna. I mean, okay, Ori can work, because the Shockwave can definitely turn a fight. But I feel like my problem now is that the scaling is going to be good, but I don't know if Pantheon plus Thresh can get them over the line in the early game. That said, you look over at AL, it's not like AL have a phenomenal early game in its own right? So going scaling for scaling, definitely fine. I just worry that Orianna kind of gets blown up by the front line of AL at any given time. And Zeri and Lulu are going to be very self-sufficient against the team with no real hard engage, right? So I think Silas would have made a world of difference there for just being able to take away the actual engage ults and use them for themselves. We'll see how WE are going to play this one out. This is going to be a bloody game.
Yeah.
I expect this to be a very, very, very bloody game. These compositions are very aggressive. Lane swap is likely also going to be in the mix here because of the Udyr pick. I don't suspect these lanes to match up 1-to-1, at the very least top to bot. If they do, it's because they are both considering a swap, and then they both baited each other out, and they mind-gamed each other into ending up in the matching lanes, I see.
Yeah. AL have completely changed their strategy. It feels like they have some different options moving forward with the Camille, but a very team fight-centric composition where WE trying to feed off the momentum from that last game and trying to find a way to push this to 5. Both these teams on the opposite sides of the scale in this Group A. AL looking to go 3-0 in series score and secure that first seed going into the playoffs. WE, they're looking to be a little bit more than a bump in the road here for AL. This test of strength is falling short for AL, and WE have their hands on the gas. They're looking to try to get this comp off and running in their home arena in Xi'an. It's AL versus WE.
Maybe the mic's just closer to the AL fans, you know?
There's your copium shot for the day.
Yeah, there's maybe that's what it is. Nothing too fishy in the runes that I can see before we talk about, you know, actual League of Legends. Camille is walking to the bottom lane. Hope and Kael moving to the top side. WE keeping the normal lane assignments. They'll get a ward on the chickens, which will be spotted out by AL. And yeah, this is a part of, well, actually, you know, weirdly enough, it is Cube on the Udyr. I was gonna say again, like normally they'd want to initiate the lane swap, so maybe they know the lane swap is gonna happen, and they're kind of happy to maintain this posture for the time being. And in all fairness, Mazel, I'm not gonna lie, Zeri, Lulu, Sejuani, that Udyr isn't gonna die in a dive.
True. You're not wrong. It's gonna be actually really difficult to deal with. Flandre. And try to go in, get a little grasp attack for himself there, you know. Cube almost dead. He's going to have to TP back.
By the looks of his XP bar, no, he definitely got 3 melee minions worth of XP. I will not say that he only got 2. Monkey.
Okay.
Oh,
they actually
Monkey.
found Monkey. The flash immediately from Tarzan gets the hit, and Flandre comes across Monkey. Best laid plans of mice and men. Tarnished into that one.
Not great. Cube is getting to farm though. Hey, yeah, let's get a. Did he just?
Okay.
Yeah, just for the XP, I can respect it.
Yeah, honestly. You'll take that.
I think normally it's bad. Like normally it is bad. Just for clarity. Just so I'm not backtracking on myself. Normally it's bad, but into Sejuani, plus that, you know, bottom lane duo, the likelihood of dying is just, it's really low. It's really, really low. We may finally get some resets coming through and standard lane assignments as Hope and Kael move their way down to the bottom side, and all is even in the bot lane. There is practically no difference. However, Monkey's feeling pretty angry about that invade earlier.
Okay, they actually just take the... What? This is tough. I mean, he almost dies. Shanks! Oh. Shanks with a 3-man taunt. That's so massive. And Flandre's here, the flash play. Shanks gets the kill there. How is this happening? How is all of this turning against WE? As Karis takes one down. Flandre looking for a hook shot over on a cube. The taunt with that heroic charge. Not going to find anything in the end, at least. Trying to get the taunt there onto it with the winds of war. Oh. Flandre wants one more. Can't get the scissor kick onto Karis. Now Cube tanking him up here, tealing him down, and double kill for the fiery Phoenix of Cube.
Goodness me. Well, It didn't look too bad for AL until they look for the re-engage onto Karis. They get his flash, but that's 2 kills going over to Cube. And Mazel.
Hello.
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yes.
But that's a fair amount of gold handed over to WE.
It ain't 4 kills on a Ziggs, but I'll take it.
It's not 4 kills on the Ziggs, but I'll take it. The caveat is 2 of those kills went onto an Udyr. I can't remember the last time I saw that champ be useful in almost any context. So
last year. Udyr was running rampant last year, man. Like he was running all over the place.
Look,
beginning in spring.
Maybe you know, I wasn't quite full time on the LPL last year, so you had a lot more exposure to it than I did. Maybe that's what it was. You know, you actually got to see some good ideas. Anytime I showed up and returned back to my
it's
real
just a caster
home,
diff, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
I never got to witness a good LPL idea, unfortunately.
That's a skill issue. That's what the pro players tell me anyways.
Yeah, I think so. Tarzan's looking for that invade. Monkey's going to know, but Monkey doesn't seem to care.
Oh.
Actually, Tarzan's going to check into him.
This is not great. He does have his blue buff. Nice flash
from
Vampire. Bringing Taeyoon over here into the trap jaws, and Tarzan will fall to Taeyoon. Now Taeyoon's excited. Popping some shots from Fishbones into Kael and Hope, but that's a massive play on bot side from Team WE.
Chain CC was great, but even if Tarzan had gotten his Q interrupted, so even if he managed to survive through the burst damage, he was not going anywhere. And that kill goes on to Taeyoon. Mazel. I don't want to believe it. In fact, I'm not going to.
I'm already calling it. We're going to 5 games.
Oh no. I can feel
See
happy.
how that comment in the production chat works out after that one, huh? We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. We're just gonna keep that an inside joke. No one is.
Yeah, we are. Nobody. It doesn't matter to anybody. The grubs have spawned though, so we will see a little bit of adaptation of pressure up towards this top side. Monkey is gonna come over with Karis as Tarzan's just trying to steal one away before they get here. Gonna use the speed up of that Scuttle Crab take to get him out of there. So it'll be a 2-for-1 grub trade.
Yeah, for now at least. Shanks. Does he have an angle?
Just level 4. Kael has a level advantage on him. Tarzan trying to follow into Karis, but Karis using that nice little lantern to get himself out of there. Here's Heroic Entrance coming in, trying to get the reset of this fight. Shanks not going to have that big cooldown for himself now or for his team. That sentence going to go just a little bit wide.
It's really awkward. I mean, AL, what they're working with in this early game is a bunch of CC and, you know, incremental damage and then big burst damage, right? You don't kill one target immediately, life gets really hard. And when you're dealing with Lantern, Pantheon-y, you know, even Orianna Shield, or just like Shockwave to interrupt the potential chain CC, it's very, very difficult to win out these early skirmishes if those things don't go your way. It was only a grub apiece, though. There is still 1 grub left in the pit. Tarzan is very aware of this, and the setup is certainly in his favor.
Okay.
So he will steal this away.
Coming back for the scraps. I will say Karis also... Oh, big death sentence from Vampire. Getting the flay onto the jaws, but not enough damage to follow it up. Taeyoon does have the Mega Death Rocket. Hope has that lightning crash. ADCs are going to be looking to fight.
Yeah, they will be. My big concern, though, when we talk about AD to AD, is that Taeyoon does not have that much setup around him, right? He's got the Orianna to help space, like, provide and build space. He's got the Lantern for safety. Yes. Hope has Galio, Lulu, Sejuani as a trio of protection. And then the backup of Flandre's damage. So I do worry as
Grand Sarfall.
Not going to amount to much at all, I guess. Oh, Kael did flash. I didn't even hear the spell get cast. So they get that at the very least out of that ultimate, but not what you want to see out of a first global.
They didn't stop the back, rather. They do get a nice little combo as Glacial Prism will come out on the Vampire, and he has no health bar anymore. Hope gonna take him. Okay, it's Tarzan that takes him, so a little bit unfortunate in that regard, but Vampire gets caught wanting.
Yeah, you could see they tried to donate the kill over to Hope there, but it must have been red buff to steal away that kill credit. Very unfortunate. Vampire gets caught out with no flash. Good pick. Don't decide to go for that dragon after the fact, though. Just take the pick and walk away. I don't mind that, but you definitely would like an early dragon if you can help it. Though the longer a dragon doesn't get taken, the further away Elder Dragon is, and the longer this AL composition gets the scale. So it doesn't even feel that bad to not get right now.
You're right. You're right. Buying a little bit of time, maybe in that chance at least. TP did get utilized by Flandre up towards top side. Monkey slowly but surely taking this one away as WE finding 2 games in a row after not having an advantage in 2.5 games. Finally finding consistent advantages now over AL. And we go back to that conversation we've had this entire time of this is a test of strength for AL. What are they going to look like in the playoffs? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, WE are upsetting the mold right now.
Yeah, no, they are. It's a very, very big tonal shift, right? We look at how game 1 and 2 went. Game 3, you know, even if we were to be a little bit realistic and say it felt like a content game from AL, all of a sudden, the winds have kind of shifted for this early game. WE are even, but in a position that they're not super uncomfortable with. The kills already on Karis and Taeyoon. Even with their counterparts at the minute. Can continue to keep the game at this state. Try to rely on that Jinx later on to burn through the health bars, burn through the front line in these front to backs. It's still going to be difficult, right? I do worry about the lack of engage that WE have in terms of, you know, easy to throw out. It's not a Glacial Prison like what Sejuani has or Camille Galio. It is going to be a lot more based around position, but the scaling aspects are still there, right? And I think the execution floor is not as high. It's not like so high that I worry.
Yeah. I still really like AL's comp as well in terms of that scaling aspect you're talking about. Just looking at the way that they can have big team fights and kind of directional advantage in terms of who they're trying to take down in these fights with that Glacial Prison. They opted into a heavy team fight composition in this game, and maybe trying to opt into that by buying time and waiting around for these big moments. That's going to be something they can keep an eye on. Hope step it up here. Monkey and Vampire waiting in the wings to try to collapse, but Grubs are up and at 'em. See if the Prio in mid is going to lead to any fights that way.
I think more importantly as well, the Prio in top is there for Cube. So Flandre is going to be late to the rotation or have to give up some CS. Monkey could be in a small bit of trouble, but that's what the
Dark
there
Passage.
for. It's a very, very strong tool in situations like this. Bit of a cooldown. Team's actually kind of chunked out here. I think he'd love to hit this wave a little bit. Heal up whatever he can. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be meaningful. But now, the way that W have just postured is giving AL complete control over mid. So they might have to give over the river control, because AL can just walk in as a 3 if they so like.
They're trying to dance around these Grubs, as now AL is just going to start that one up. Monkey is over on his red buff right now. The signal will be called that they have started this one up. They have Prio from Taeyoon in mid, but the Grubs are already falling here pretty quickly. Mega Death Rocket already utilized from Taeyoon to try to get one of those Grubs. They get 2 of them, so they have 4 total. Now Grand Starfall coming in. TP play. WE, they are split here. That's a little bit deep. That's Karis, and he will not be punished. I mean, that's a bold TP, but I like it.
It was bold, but the TPs this season just take so long, regardless of whether they're unleashed or not. Very fortunate as hello.
Okay. Glacial Prison going
Karis.
in there.
Can't fault AL for fishing that at all.
Not
Shanks
at all.
is still
Not
down on the bottom side, doing his thing. And this will be tank Galio, so no AP shenanigans. Very rarely see AP, but we've seen how much damage that Bruiser build can end up doing, right? The Hollow Radiance into... Goodness me, what's the item called again? Riftmaker. There you go. Got there in the end.
There you go. You're doing great.
Thank you, Mazel. I do try sometimes.
So that's a first item, Archangels. There. Typically, you'll see the tier picked up and built later while you stack up the sacks for it. It'll be an immediate pickup by Karis.
All right. Well, pros. If Flandre and Shanks press their R keys on Karis, he's going to be a little bit harder to kill.
True.
Cons, you're not going to do a lot of damage. Yeah, and I think they can definitely be carried in damage right now for the time being by Monkey and by Cube. But it's definitely going to matter the later that this game goes on. I wonder what Karis' second item is going to be, because that will really, that'll be really telling of how much work he's going to do in the damage department. There's Tarzan. No ult just yet. Fish Taeyoon, but again, Dark Passage is there.
This vampire pick on the Thresh is working out so well. I mean, we already see it pay dividends early on, only 14 minutes in.
Yeah. So many times already. Just gotten Monkey out of trouble earlier on. Found the pick a couple of times too.
Dragon time.
It is dragon time though, like you say, and this is where Thresh can definitely falter a little bit.
Okay, they just got Flandre into the fight, but now it's a front to back, and Flandre wants to find angles. He wants to find different avenues to get into the fight. WE are just going to push up with Cube, now move over to the Dragon, but the fight has already kicked off on a Monkey. The Dragon is taken. Here comes the Lightning Crash, and here comes AL's team fight comp. They are just running at WE, and there ain't no hope in the world for anybody on WE's side. Those combos of ultimate, the Venn diagram of death has come for WE.
The only hope here is on AL. And he is very happy to play out this team fight with so much frontline. I mean, this is the big worry that we had when we see these compositions get locked in. How do WE ever play a front to back versus what feels like the Exodia comp of Doom of a front to back? Yeah, this is going to be a bit troublesome, I think, for WE as we progress into this game in the 5v5s. They're going to have to turn this game into one of side lane and picks, but you're playing against Camille Galio, so even doing that is going to be difficult. The excellent three-man taunt is
Shanks
great.
actually
The knock-up
does
as
so
well
much work.
from the Lulu ult, and yeah, it's like you said, his positioning puts in so much work. WE, man. Where will you go now? Is my big
This
question
is exactly
after
what I
seeing that fight.
expected. Like, I see AL draft this comp, and this is a comp where they just went from saying, we don't respect you whatsoever, we're going to grab random picks that probably don't work together, to saying, we know we're better than you, we're going to take a team fight comp, and you can do nothing about it.
It also just screams, we want to go home now. We've had enough of this series. Like, it was all fun and games until you didn't let us win with the Elise comp.
Okay. Tarzan.
Yo,
This is the Arctic Assault there. A little bit tough, but the Rift Herald is up. See if they want to fight over it. A lot of vision by WE as Grand Starfall comes out. Kael using his movement speed to get away. Monkey, unfortunately, cannot connect there, but does get into the space to provide pressure on this mid lane. Oh, Taeyoon caught, wanting Dark Passage, but it's Hope looking for him anyways. Gets flayed in, the Wild Growth, and he's just light and crashing all over them. He doesn't even have to worry about it as he's firing away the zip, zap, and zoom of Hope on AL.
He's trying to smite him, maybe, to prevent his base there.
This is not Arcane, sorry.
No, it's not. And again,
how long until those jokes get old, by the way? I think for Alk Battery, they're already old. How about you?
Well, Alk's a grumpy old man. You know,
got
he doesn't like anything. He doesn't like. No. Screw you, Alk. No, we don't love you. He's lying. It's a good flash from
no
Vampire.
lying here, though.
It's a good flash from Vampire.
Oh no, Hope!
Oh.
I didn't see that he cleansed.
No, it's fine. I mean, actually, the bigger thing here is that he misses the last Q. Hey, observers!
You didn't get to watch the rest of that.
Observers! Let us watch the replay. We want to see him miss the last Q to not get the Vampire kill, man.
Dude, by the way, how Chad is it that this is working out with a first pick Lulu by Kael?
I mean,
in the grand scheme of LPL drafts, where did you expect Lulu to be first pick on blue side?
Well, in defense of my gargantuan brain, of course.
Of course.
I'm not saying that I called out the Lulu, but maybe not first pick. You know, I'll stop the self glaze. I didn't expect it to get first pick, but you know, I did expect it to show up. Probably, it was either that or Renata lane. You know, it was always going to be one or the other. Lulu made a little bit more sense in this case. When you like, this is the trend we see when we hit this game 4-5. It feels like we've shifted into a different meta, and Zeri and Jinx are the new premier S tier ADCs. Once we've gotten rid of, let me just go through the list: Ezreal, Varus, MF, Ziggs. What was the? Who cares about what the other two were? Once you get through, you know, those four, then Jinx and Zeri are like the champs.
Hey, I'm just happy to see these two guys get a little bit of a leg up and go at it at each other. I feel like there's been so many weird, different focuses in this series. AL obviously having a lot of that focus, but even in the last game, you know, WE having the combo of Karis and Monkey, find all that success. Was nice to see little glimmers of hope of what can be possible for WE going into the next split, as they will be done with this split after this series. Atacon is up. We have Dragon up on the other side of the map. Split focuses could come out here, but it would be a second Dragon for either side.
Would be a second Dragon. I feel like AL are just going to get this one for pretty much free. If WE contest this, I think they're just asking to lose the game. It seems like that will be the case. They're just going to give it up. Taeyoon is basing. I don't know if he's going to have second item. He must still be a little bit away. Sold the Kael. No, he's got LDR. All right, not bad. He's on a very good spike right now.
2 items for both carries.
Yeah. Armor pen's in. It's going to help cut through the front line for sure. Tier 1's going to drop though.
Yeah, and then, I mean, Tarzan can just go for any engages he wants to, knowing that he has so much backup behind him, freely using this Glacial Prison to just find picks.
Whenever he wants, really. Oh, Cube. I mean, he is an idiot with 2 items.
You have the hover coming down from Shanks.
He'll be the most useful idiot you'll see in Pro Play. Maybe ever.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I miss...
You love to hear that.
I miss old Adir. Can we talk about that for a second whilst these guys take Dragon? And there's probably not going to be a response. I do.
Why?
I do. He was just funny stance, man.
Funny hoo-hoo guy for, you know,
funny, he was just funny
I get to change a bunch of different animals.
Look, he's just funny nature guy with a PS1, you know, champion model. His base skin was Spirit Guarded, you know.
I did get that skin immediately when it came out. I was an Udyr jungle guy back in the day. And I even don't want that old stuff, you know? So I mean, I don't know. Jamada, you're a little crazy.
So was I, man. No, I mean, so was I, and I think that's why I miss Udyr so much. Fully inspired that the madman, by the madman, that is Trick 2G. Chow, that guy.
Goodness.
Ain't that a throwback for the old heads?
Yeah, for sure.
He's a
nostalgia
dad now,
just twinged in everybody's mind.
He's a dad, by the way, if that doesn't make you feel old.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Should that happen? You know, the world may never know. As
moving on.
The nostalgia thing. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, right, the nostalgia thing. Yes.
Yeah. There has been a dragon on the Rift for a long time, but nobody's taken that game.
It's a cloud dragon. Who cares?
Yeah,
that's, you know.
Atlas just shuddered somewhere.
I know. I shuddered.
The Atacon, though. Are we in a position? I mean, AL could absolutely do this and force the play.
Yeah.
Are they going to? I don't think so, but they're waiting to see if WE are going to pull the trigger, and it's the trigger pulled on them. Oh, that's dirty. Hope takes him down for his 3rd kill of the game, sitting at 3-0-2 against his old organization, and here he is popping off.
It's taken me 23 minutes to notice, so call me a bad analyst if you want, but I feel like going Ghost here on as Taeyoon is a little greedy, given what AL's one singular engage tool is based on. They're going to try and make a pick onto Flandre. Here you go, wave's gone.
Okay.
And the dive will
bring
happen.
Vampire. Maybe it's enough.
Yeah, it will happen in about 15 seconds. Oh, walking pop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, Flandre's
like
got big
this.
brains, man.
Yeah.
Walk his way out of here, buy so much time.
How's he
Maybe
gonna
trying to
use
get
the
the
flash?
Atacon. Maybe not enough time.
Oh,
That would have been
almost
banger.
buffered.
That would have been so good.
You know what? I actually feel a little bit bad there for Flandre because I think he's timed the hook shot correctly, but because of how the thresh hook works, it pulls you twice.
Yeah.
So I think he's buffered the initial hook itself, but then that second pull has interrupted his actual hook shot, which is a bit unfortunate. Unless it was Flay and I just didn't see the animation. Very plausible.
Maybe we'll get a replay.
at this
Probably
stage.
not.
Probably not. I imagine. Yeah.
Monkey stayed bot lane and got the turret. It wasn't like first turret or anything. It was just a singular
Good for him.
turret. We did see more turrets fall in favor of AL, though. So we'll see if that actually comes back to bite them at all. Dragon's still up on the table, but the Atacon GA up for another minute and 40 seconds. So AL can kind of have their pick of the litter in terms of what they want to do on the map.
Yeah, they do. Just kind of wondering when Baron's going to get started, to be honest. If I'm AL, Tarzan.
We're at the 25-minute mark.
Oh.
Oh, Taeyoon. Oh, this is where you really wish you had cleanse, isn't it? TP even. Oh my God. AL just gonna push down mid lane. They don't even need the Baron.
I mean, they can break this tower open.
No
very easily.
way.
Oh.
Is this how the series ends? There's no freaking way that this is how the series ends. Lightning Crash
Mazel.
comes in. Monkey's dead. WE,
it's
you
ending.
blink and they lose the game. What?
Yeah. First
Okay,
nail.
Tarzan getting hit. There's the inhib gone. Tarzan about to go down, sent back. No, he's healing. He's shielding. And Kael comes up big for his team again. Now AL realized they were biting off a little bit more than they could chew. They did take that mid inhib and side lane turrets, but they'll back off after that.
Yeah, they will. Inhib's open, though, in the mid lane. Or rather, down, to use the more apt terminology.
Down, up, all figments of our imagination.
Yep. Oh, the dragon's dying. Hey, look at that.
Let's
They
go.
remember the dragon exists. Well, it should just be resets for those who need to spend the gold and a play around Baron. I don't really see another path that AL need to take here. WE, in an ideal world, they try to look for a pick now as the Atacon buff falls off, but I think it's too far gone. I don't really see this one happening.
It's going to clear some vision around this top side, but AL's comp and the lead that they have put them in a beautiful position to take this group if they can finish out this game. WE going to need a little bit of spurring of life somewhere, somehow. And maybe AL trying to snuff that one out now. TP coming in. This is it. This is AL's moment to pounce. This is AL getting the rogue entrance onto 3, but he was already dead before he came down. Todd's not going to hit, but look on the side. Karis is down. WE are being eliminated one by little one as Vampire will see the shining light that is anyone's legend. The leaders of Group A looking to go undefeated in this group at 3-0. 27.5 minutes in. AL are taking down the final Nexus turrets here. They fight it out. They get a tooth and nail 2 against Cube. Cube gone. Hope and Shanks with the redemption arc against their old team, against their old organization, will mark a first seed placing for anyone's legend going into playoffs.
Fantastic stuff from AL. Not much else to say. Game 3 was a content game, man. That's it.
It's
Game
worse
4,
because now it's solidified.
like now, it's like we could ask the question in Game 3 and be like, is this just a content game?
Yeah.
And oftentimes in the LPL, so many times have we been robbed of that answer. Not today. Not today at all. It was completely resounding as they take their bow to the Xi'an crowd. Good series.
Really awesome stuff.
Realistically, it might be a 3-0. I mean, a 3-1 rather. But it spiritually might feel like a 4-0 now to WE in retrospect. I will say,
I'm just happy we got to see something from WE.
Exactly.
I'm happy we didn't have an
that's where I'm at.
unwinning team in our league.
That's where I'm at. For me, the fact that WE at the very least looked moderately better with Monkey in, I think is a good sign and is room to build on, right? Realistically, I think you can look at this series and go, cool, we weren't dead in the water for 3 games like we were in the other series. And hopefully this is the beginning of a potential building block. We'll see how it all works out once we get around to seeing WE in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be unfortunate that we don't get to see WE anymore. Even if there's some lacking of maybe some positivity in those last couple series, it was nice to see that game number 3 and maybe building something forward. I think Monkey is obviously somebody that deserves at this point an LPL shot. I mean, he was having a lot of positive moments. I think being able to see Karis have that Yone performance still solidifies Yone as an incredible champion right now in the meta. But AL returning to something, again, like I said it in the draft, or in the game rather, they realized we're just better than this team. We just need to win in a team fight comp, and they just took it to them. I think that realization is powerful in some regard for AL, but we should hold this team to a higher regard.
I want to stay serious, Mazel, but they just didn't care, man. They just didn't care. I agree, we should hold them to a higher standard, but when you see the Game 3 to Game 4 difference, extra stage time, you know, like they got to play some Elise on stage. Probably learned that they shouldn't do that again.
Please no.
Probably learned that they shouldn't be doing that again, right?
Nope.
Yeah. AL are good. And they
That's
might be
the
as
new
good.
Tristana mid pick for me, by the way. I know Trist was good for a lot of last year, but at the end she was really bad, and the LPL team still kept picking her for some reason.
Was Tristana bad, or did they just not figure out how to play her post changes? You know, like
maybe.
the builds and slight that up for debate. up for debate. Yeah. That said, I think AL. That game, learning lesson. At least bad.
Good.
Set
okay.
contextually playable. Right? Set contextually playable? Contextually. Come on. You can agree with like it's
I can't say anything or I'll get fined. I don't know, man. Sorry.
3-1. Wow! Hope did the most damage in the game. Who's surprised? Not me.
What a thunk.
Nope, not at all. Composition built around him. 37% of the team's damage share. And we didn't really get to see that many big team fights out of him. That really lets you know how that game was being played out.
Yeah.
And despite the early skirmish going WE's way, I think the sad fact of the matter is the kills went to Cube. Right?
It's slowed down, right? Like their proactivity was so good, but once it slows down, you give a team fight comp like AL like that much room to grow. It's so hard.
Unfortunately, yeah, and like we were talking about, the execution floor wasn't particularly high for this composition from WE, but it's just not a through and through front to back composition. Like
you're fighting like this, man. This is crazy.
Know, this skirmish, it's AL again, kind of throwing WE another lifeline, right? They're the ones that look for this pick, this turnaround. They come in for the taunt here. Does end up connecting, and you know the turn looks good, but Karis has flash, right?
He does,
and they just overestimate their damage. If these 2 kills go onto the Orianna, fantastic. Maybe there's room to play around. Udyr's just not a useful champion. Like,
I
9 times out of 10. I can't not stand on this hill, unfortunately. Kind of just is what it is.
This was the nail in the coffin for this fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you just see literally everything for AL working out perfectly in succession there.
Yeah, it's team fight heaven for AL.
Hope was having a good time, that's for sure.
He was. After you see that kind of fight, that's the kind of fight where you look at the game. If you're just kind of in passing, you go, yeah, this game's fun.
2 in a row, come on.
Observers doing their
package
thing.
not doing Taeyoon very well.
Look,
oh
Taeyoon,
no!
3! I mean, Taeyoon should have taken Cleanse. Well, Cleanse wouldn't have saved him in this play, but like he should have.
It would have saved him in the other two, for sure.
Yeah, just a little bit greedy. Kael's first from Vampire actually was the shout as well. So they were really trying to push their limits and be a bit greedy. And why not? You know, you're already out. No reason not to try and push them limits, but limits were firmly pushed back on by AL.
Yeah. They finished the game so ruthlessly, man.
No
just
Baron.
like the first push that just took the inhib, and then just to finish the game after that fight. I mean, really impressive decision making, at least from anyone's legend. But that also just means that we have to bid adieu to Team WE for the split. A long while, like we said, until we see them again, until that spring split starts. We have to make it through all of playoffs. We have to make it through all of first stand, and then the little break that they're going to have between. And it feels bad that a team with such legacy like Team WE has in the LPL, that this new iteration isn't working for them. But hey, here's hoping that the next iteration or the continuation of this iteration maybe makes Team WE in that contesting for that spring split.
They should be. They should be in that like middle of the pack.
It's not going to be as ruthless as this split for sure.
Yeah, of course. Like you have to remember the formats are changing. Wow, Tarzan snagged himself an MVP. Fair play. Fair play.
100% KP.
I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. Yeah, Tarzan was a lot of their early game plays and certainly their mid game plays.
Poor Taeyoon.
Poor Taeyoon, man. Poor Taeyoon.
Measurement, Monkey versus Tarzan. How'd you feel?
Well, Tarzan's not called the king of the jungle for nothing, is what
True.
I'll say. Yeah.
They have a lot to work with in that next Tarzan movie. That's all I'll say as well.
Yeah, they do.
I love that we kept that going all 4 games. Anyways, before we get going, I do want to give one last huge thank you to our Elite Coffee supporter, Aaron Soup. Thank you so very much for what you do. Your contribution helps level up the broadcast in so many ways. It gives back to us, to the cast and crew, the people behind the scenes that strive to give you this LPL English fan-made project every single day. If you want to subscribe, the links are going out now in chat. Please support us. It is awesome that we get to continuously tell these stories, and we're getting to the brass tacks of it as playoffs right around the corner. Make sure you tune in for the rest of the games this week. Jamada, it was an absolute pleasure. Bread behind the scenes, making all the buttons go beep boop and making us look half decent. Thank you so much.